To the American Express Elite Football Performance Centre. Welcome back for a new season or a new pre-season. Obviously, we're delighted to have Tony Bloom, our chairman here, David Weir, our technical director, and obviously the man you've come to see, Fabian Hurzeler, our new head coach. And we're very happy to take your questions.
James from Sky.
Fabian, many congratulations on your appointment. What does it mean to you to be the new head coach of Brighton?
Yeah, first of all, hello together, and I'm really happy to be here. It's a big honor for me to be the head coach from Brighton Hove Albion, and I'm really looking forward to work together with the team on the pitch to see all the faces, to achieve big things, and that's why the work can start.
Last season you won promotion to the Bundesliga with St Pauli. What did these guys do to convince you to leave Germany and come to the Premier League?
So, I really like the DNA, the philosophy of the club. The very analytical and data-based approach is special, and the history in the past was impressive. What they achieved in the past, and I like the style that they want to play. It's like always with courage, and me and my team, we try to continue this.
You're the youngest permanent head coach in Premier League history. What makes you feel ready for this challenge right now?
So, of course, I'm aware that this is a huge job. I'm aware of that. It's a big challenge. And I think I need a lot of courage, and of course, like also humility. So I need to stay humble. I think these two values are very important. And to be honest, if I'm not convinced that me and my team we can't do it, I wouldn't tackle it. So I'm really looking forward to start with the work. And to be honest, I will learn a lot, and I'm sure that I won't become a worse manager.
Absolutely. There are 6 players in this squad that are actually older than you. So how are you going to make sure that age isn't an issue?
So I call myself the friendly authority. Football is my passion, and I try to convince the players by using the power of the ideas. And I want to value every player. I want to improve every player together with my team, with my coaching team. I have a great team around me, and that's my leading style.
And finally, for me, the long-term vision, the model for the club, it is clear. What are your immediate priorities? What are you hoping you can achieve in your first season there?
So I think it's always important to have like targets, to have like a vision. And of course, I want, before I say to you my targets with the team, I want to discuss them with my players. Because in the end, the players have to be convinced of that. And the players needs to feel what we can achieve. And that's the main thing for me. But I want to achieve big things, and I want to challenge the establishment.
Johnny Cantor, BBC Sussex.
Fabio, what do you think are the biggest differences for you going to be coming to the Premier League from being involved in Bundesliga but also with the national side?
So, like the main differences, of course, is the culture, is the language, the facilities we have here, what the persons beside me they build up is amazing. It's everything's bigger, the team is bigger. So, in the end, I always say my work doesn't change. So I worked at St Pauli the same like I worked as a coach in Pippinsried was my first station, and I will work here the same like I will work in Pippinsried and St Pauli. So I try to give my best. I'm a worker. I would say I'm a grounded one, and I love to work, and I love to have new challenges in life. So I'm looking forward to do this.
Have you managed to speak to some of the players yet?
Yes, I had like a lot of very, very open chats and open calls with them, and I really like these open-minded characters, these helpful characters here in this team. That's something special, what I feel, and I'm looking forward to meet them in person, although I know some of them already personal, but not the whole team.
There's a couple of coaches that have stayed. What's the latest in terms of your backroom staff and bringing in your team?
So first of all, I want to say that the employers who are already here and the staff members who are already here, I want to value them, and I want them be part of my coaching staff, because they have a lot of knowledge. For example, Crofty, he is an amazing character. He has a lot of knowledge, and I want him to be part of my team, as well as Sam and the whole analysis team. So I want to make them value my team, because in the end, I'm a guest here in England, and they know how to work here. They know the Premier League. So, of course, it's important to have them in my team, and I want them to stay. And on top of that, I bring a goalkeeper coach and one analysis and one assistant coach.
Thank you.
Paul Belston, Premier League production.
Fabian, how much of the Premier League did you watch while working in Germany?
Too much. I think I watch like almost every game from Brighton. I watched a lot of Arsenal, of City. So in the end, I think it's part of my job to see different trends, to follow different trends in the international football. And to be honest, the Premier League, it's the best league in the world. They have the best coaches, so of course you can learn a lot of things. And in the end, you always have to have your own identity, your own philosophy. But I think it's also important to take some elements and always adapting it, because if you stay at one point, you won't develop anymore. And I want that my players, my philosophy, all the persons around me, that they develop.
What is it about Roberto De Zerbi's style that you admired so much?
I think that Roberto De Zerbi, he had a huge impact on the whole football world. He brought a different style of football. So, of course, I take some elements, but like I said before, in the end, I have my own philosophy, and it's important to have your own philosophy, because you can't copy anyone. But I like the football Roberto played. It's with a lot of courage and with some very interesting elements in ball possession. So of course there were elements I take them, and I try to adapt to my philosophy.
And you saw that firsthand in December at the Amex. What was that whole experience like? So
I went here for my winter vacation, and I made a travel with some friends going through the UK and watching different Premier League games. And I also were here at the Amex, and I really loved the atmosphere. I loved the crowd. I loved the feeling they had for their team. So they tried to push them when there were like hard situations in the game. They supporting them like 90 minutes. So I had like a really comfortable feeling, and I was not a visitor. I felt myself during the 90 minutes, I get more and more a supporter of the team. So I was cheering for them in the end. So now it was a great feeling, great experience. So I'm really looking forward to see the fans, to work together with them, to celebrate hopefully a lot of wins. And I'm looking forward to the atmosphere at the Amex.
And James mentioned your age. Can you tell us why you decided to retire from playing so young, and what gave you the coaching bug?
So yeah, my age is like a big topic, and I know that. And I always say like that I'm a young man, but I'm not a young coach. So I was able to gain a lot of experience in different areas. And of course, I don't have like experience in the Premier League, but I think there's always a start. And now it's my start. And yeah, why I quit was because it was, I think, 21, 22. I have to be honest to myself that I won't reach the highest level, so I won't be the player of Brighton, for example. And then I was start thinking, what do I do after my career of a football player? And then I said, okay, football is my passion. I will do it my whole life. So why don't I start now as a head coach? And there was the opportunity Pippin Street gave to me, and I take this challenge, and then it started.
Good luck, Fabian.
Thanks a lot.
Ian Abrahams, TalkSport.
Hi Fabian, nice to meet you. You mentioned about you quitting football early to become a coach. You obviously then have that real self-belief that you're going to be successful.
again, then I
You
think,
obviously have that self-belief.
yeah.
You're going to be successful.
Of course, I think I said it before that a mix between like courage and humility is important. Yeah, to stay humble, to work a lot, but in the end, of course, I have the convincement inside of me that I can make it. And you always need the belief in yourself, the belief in the team, the trust in your own, the trust in the team. That's very important, and I always have that in every challenge. And I will go for it, and I will try to challenge it and do the best out of the situation together with my team.
You have to have belief, but you also have to have the belief of your employers. You've got one of the best chairmen around.
Yeah.
The CEO is one of the best in world football. Is this the perfect team? You like?
I hope so. Tony,
It's up for a fall, isn't he, really?
I hope so that is the perfect match. So, to be honest, it was also like part of my decision that makes me easy. The discussions, the meeting with Tony, with Paul, and also with David, that they give me a good feeling, and I felt like very comfortable during the meetings, during the discussions, and I know that I have a lot of knowledge. I know that they achieve like big things, and for me, it's like I said at the beginning, it's an honor to be part of it, and I hope that we can achieve big things together, and that you can write that's the perfect match.
Yeah, I didn't mean to leave David out.
Yeah, of course. That's why I mentioned him. You know.
We've had the Premier League before, the likes of Thomas Tuchel, Jurgen Klopp, who's just left, Daniel Farke, David Wagner. In terms of those sort of German managers, where are you positioned between them in terms of your philosophy?
Oh, that's a good question. It's a difficult one. So, of course, like all the German coaches, they're role model for the young coaches in Germany. And I think that the ideas from Tuchel in ball possession, they are like extraordinary. Jurgen Klopp, the football he's playing, this intensity is something special. And I really like to have also intensity on the pitch. So it's like a mixture between ball possession and intensity against the ball. And I think you need to have plans for both phases. You have a plan against the ball, you have a plan with the ball, and on top of that there's like set pieces, and you have to try to cover everything and try to get a mixture out of it. But to be honest, like these coaches like Tuchel, like Klopp, also Wagner, they help us a lot. So the young coach in Germany, they are like a orientation where we can be at one day.
And finally, I guess you now just can't wait to get started. Can't wait for the next month to go by in the Premier League to kick off.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward. I think that we have a great team already. We have great characters. We have a good mixture between young players with big potential and old experienced players who achieved a lot of things. So I'm really looking forward to start working on the pitch.
Good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Ian. Right, we'll come back to James now. I think
Tony, congratulations on making the appointment. What made Fabian a standout candidate for you?
Well, when Roberto left at the end of the season, we had more time than previous times in terms of making sure we made the right appointment. So we took our time, we looked at all possible head coaches, and Fabian's name came out there, given what he did over the last 18 months at St Pauli. And, you know, when we went through it, he was the standout candidate who was available, who we thought would be available. And when we met, we had a meeting, the four of us, for about 3 or 4 hours, and the conversation flowed. We were really impressed about how mature Fabian was, the way he was talking about football, and he spoke like a very experienced head coach. And let's not forget, even though that, as some of you have mentioned, he's a fairly young head coach, he has done 5.5 years. He's got 5.5 years experience as a head coach. And yeah, we were really impressed. We think it's a great fit for Brighton and Hove Albion Football Club. And I think our fans, our players, and the whole city should be very excited about this appointment.
And there's no guarantee with any appointment that you could have made this summer, but is it fair to say that this is a gamble?
No, I wouldn't talk about it as a gamble at all. We look at everything. We put a lot of effort and work into any head coach appointment, as other clubs do, and we think Fabian is the best fit for the football club. We think it's the least risk option of all the options that we had.
And finally, for me, there were clear differences of opinion with Roberto De Zerbi, which led to him departing. Did those conversations cause you to reevaluate or reanalyse your model, or did it actually make you stronger in your belief about what you're doing here at Brighton?
Now, we're always very confident where we do things. There's no regrets at all about bringing Roberto in. We had 2 superb years, particularly the season before last when we finished 6th in our highest ever position. So we're always looking forward. We're always looking to reevaluate, and the way we look at every part of football, and it includes recruitment of the head coaches. So we're very happy with that appointment, and we're even more happy to have Fabian here by my side.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Tony, Fabian said that he's quite open-minded about data, and you talk about that. How important was that and a key factor in your decision-making?
Well, we do think that data is really important in all high-level sport, including football. So it is important to have somebody as a head coach who understands that, and we can work with Fabian on all sorts of data to really improve everything, whether it's recruitment, whether it's tactics, whether it's medical data to reduce the chance of players' injuries. It's becoming more and more important, and it's great that Fabian embraces that.
Fabian talked about DNA. How important is the style of play? I know it's all about results, but I know style of play has always been quite key for you.
Yeah, well, results is number one, but style of play for our football club is very important. And it's also really important because we've got a set of players used to playing one way the last 2 years under Roberto. And although Fabian's style is different to Roberto, there's a lot of similarities, particularly bringing the ball out from defence. And so that was an important aspect as well.
Thank you.
Well, Tony, we know you're very, very hands-on. How much of St Pauli did you watch before saying, yep, this is our guy?
I personally didn't watch St Pauli games, but a lot of my staff obviously did. I've got all the data on all the games of St Pauli, and what this man did in 18 months there with the budget he had and the players he had was unbelievably impressive.
And Fabian kind of dodged the targets question. Is Europe, are you saying to him, come on, let's get us back into Europe this season?
As I'm sure you're all aware, our long-term vision is to be a regular top 10 men's Premier League club. And that remains. Each season is different, and we absolutely enjoyed our time in Europe last season. And our goal is absolutely to replicate that this season and for many seasons to come. It won't be easy. The Premier League, I think this season, we don't quite know how the transfers will turn out, but with the clubs coming up, I think it will be the strongest ever Premier League season. I think the Premier League is going from strength to strength. It's it's going to be a super exciting season. It's going to be really, really difficult, but we have high ambitions. We don't have a ceiling, and we're really looking forward to the season ahead.
And as a team, you've already brought him a shiny new arrival gift from Newcastle. Can you tell me about him? Who's the best person to talk about him?
David. Give it Tony for now.
Oh, okay.
But let's come to that when we do David's question.
No problem.
Ian, if you want to go with Tony.
Hi Tony, how are you?
All good, thanks.
You have the unequivocal backing of the fans because of what you've done here, and in general, I can't think of a player or manager, Simon, you've got wrong.
There may be one or two.
Any pressure with Fabian?
There's no pressure. We just work with him. We support him. We know it's a big challenge. It's a big move for him. We as a club will support him in everything, and all parts of what Fabian's doing. We're going to be fully supportive. We know there's pressure. There's pressure as a Premier League club. There's obviously pressure as a Premier League head coach. But we want to take the pressure off. We want people in the club and the players and the staff to be as relaxed as they can in a pressurised environment.
You love making history. You've got Brighton to the Premier League for the first time ever, into Europe first time, and now you've got the youngest ever coach in Premier League history. What's your next bit of history after this?
Well, let's see how the next 9 months turns out.
Back to Ian. James.
Yeah,
Paul?
just one for you, Paul. In terms of, Tony mentioned transfers, we're not sure what's going to happen this summer, but what can you expect in terms of incomings and outgoings?
Well, a lot of speculation, probably. So we can definitely expect that. I mean, we'll always try and strengthen our squad wherever we can. I mean, obviously, we prefer to do that in the summer, wherever it's possible. January window is what it is. But yeah, Fabian will certainly get the support that he needs. We think we've got a really good squad already, as Fabian said. We've built up a lot of experience in the Premier League over the last 7 or 8 years, which is obviously valuable to us as a club generally. But where we can strengthen, we will.
Paul, in terms of this club's had great success, it means you can get a lot of other clubs wanting your talent. What assurances have you had to give Fabian about keeping some of those? And obviously in the past there's been some quite high-profile departures. Obviously, key for him will be keeping some of these big names.
I mean, I think every club in the Premier League or in top leagues in football, if they do well, are going to come under scrutiny, and therefore their players, their staff are going to be valued and sought after. I think we're used to that. Obviously, we want to keep our best players and our best staff. We know that they're coveted by other clubs from time to time, but that's part of the business we're in. And our job is to try and make this environment as positive as it can be, help Fabian get the results that he needs. The players enjoy winning. So therefore, if we can create a winning environment, it's good for everybody. And obviously, we've got great facilities here, backed by Tony, to provide those opportunities. So we're confident always of keeping our best people, but we're also very aware that we're in a competitive market and good people will always be coveted by others.
Thank you.
Paul, any for Paul? No, you have to talk. Any for David?
Yeah, do what you want.
James?
David, in terms of the new signing, very exciting. How long have you been tracking the player? And it's quite a sizable fee. What are you expecting in return?
We're expecting a young player to come in and affect us. It is a player we've been tracking for a while. He moved last summer, obviously, and then spent last year on loan at Feyenoord. So we watched him closely in that loan move as well. And then when the opportunity came up for us to bring him here, we were really excited at that prospect. So he's a young player. He's only 19. He's not played in the Premier League before, but he's played at a really good level. It's an area that we know is important to us, attacking players with pace, with a pedigree, playing at a really good level. So it's an exciting prospect. We've got to give him time. We've got to be patient, which I think we've shown that we will do with a number of players. But as you said, really exciting, and someone we're looking forward to working with.
I've just got one quick one actually. I mean, obviously this is one of the best run clubs in the country. In terms of financial sustainability, does that help you when you're looking at players this summer, knowing that you're not going to have to sell to buy and have the problems that other clubs are probably well documented in having?
Yeah, I think our model and our process is pretty clear in terms of the way that Tony and Paul run the business. And I think, everyone that joins the club is, Fabian's understands how we operate. I understand how we operate, and I think that's really clear. I think the football world understands how we operate, and I think that clarity is really helpful for everyone. Obviously, different clubs can operate in different ways, but I think our way is clear. And for me personally, I think it's a benefit. And signing young players, developing young players, bringing in coaches who are teachers, who are developers is our model. And as we spoke about, sometimes players move on. I don't think we're in that position now because we're a good business. We don't have to move players on to function. We move them on when it suits us and when it's right for us, and when hopefully we'll have a replacement as well, which with Yankuba we see you can bring in young players, develop them, and then they can move into the spots that are vacated when we choose.
Thank you. Right, cameras off. We'll go to written.